Hello, everybody. These are the notes for lesson 1. We will do lesson 2 in a different video. So what you need to know that around 5000 BC, early Egyptians started settling in the river valley, very similar to Mesopotamia. They realized it was very easy to farm there. People started to live along the river, and more people would join, and eventually, just like Mesopotamia, small city-states started forming, and as time went on, an empire or a major civilization was formed. The Nile River was the life of ancient Egypt. It provided everything: it's protection, food, transportation. Without the Nile River, there would be no ancient Egyptians. It's very, very important, central to their everyday life. They mostly lived along the river. Still, all of the ancient artifacts that you could find were based upon the river, and they didn't even call it the Nile River. It's just called the river. And they did not have the wherewithal, the transportation to really know what the source was of the river. So we know now today it's in modern day between Tanzania and Uganda, Lake Victoria is the actual source of the Nile River. The ancient Egyptians didn't know that. It was just a very mystical, magical waterway that would flood once a year and provide lots of life to the whole entire population. So regular flooding would bring fertile soil called silt, very similar to Mesopotamia, from the mountains to the valley. So they would farm during the dry season by irrigating their crops. And they would dig basins very similar to the Mesopotamians. It was kind of like human nature. They figured out how to make the water tunnel from one place to the other. The ancient Egyptians formed their own writing called hieroglyphics. So we do know a lot about the ancient Egyptians because they have a lot of writing similar to the Mesopotamians. By 4000 BC, Egypt was made up into upper and lower kingdoms. Upper is more towards the Mediterranean, lower was more inland. And you need to know that in 3100 BC, King Narmer, he was a major important historical figure. He united Upper and Lower Egypt, and he started making Egypt a lot more powerful because it united together. You can get a lot more done. So then they started a dynasty, and his children started ruling over ancient Egypt. So that is all for this particular video. So make sure you have this filled out, and we'll start. Lesson 2 is a much larger section all about the life of ancient Egypt. So we'll be learning about that. And I have some other materials that will help illuminate some more information about the ancient Egyptians.